Damn. Damn.
MC, make another hit.
Whoa. This ain't what you want.
Project
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. Ha. 1600 block. I just wanna rock. I just wanna I just wanna rock. Body yada yada. Shorty got that body yada yada. Hit it once, no time. Side up, fuck, you gon' kill my vibe. Stand on my money, don't know my size. Pick them sides, and you better choose wisely. That's my high. 1, 2, 3, 4, throw up to 5. That's my high. Damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, throw up to 5.
MC, make another hit.
Whoa. This ain't what you want.
Project
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I didn't even know. My dad he like texted me and just sent me some like eye emoji, and I'm like, what's going on? And then he texted me my whole link of my own like website with all my clothing brand. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Stay true to yourself and what you wear. Keep it a buck.
We here in the studio.
A lot of these offers don't be that real, so it's not committable.
That feel like when everybody's getting their turn and it's not yours. What they call you? The Godfather, New Jersey.
Powerful man. I ain't gonna brag, but that's what they said. I ain't say that.
Yeah. Good evening. We back. We got the phenomenon. Gabe Kemp in the building.
Yes.
Nas been trying to pull this one off for a long time. Sitting with the hardware.
It's only right. You know what I'm saying? He should have brought his little VI. I mean his MVP of the tournament.
Oh, AYF do MVPs?
Yeah.
Oh, Pop Warner wouldn't acknowledge nobody individually like
they
that.
They don't do that, but AYF a little thorough, so they, kids have got a little thicker skin over there. You know what I mean? So they understand what it is.
So Gabe been with you since Pop Warner?
No, he came the year right after we left Pop Warner.
Oh, okay. All right. You ever play Pop Warner?
Yeah, but we didn't go to no nationals or anything. It wasn't nothing big. It was just a little town ball.
It's Keyport's own right here, man. Gabe Kemp,
Shout out to Keyport, Central Jersey.
Shout out to the Port Boys.
All right. So Nas, how you find Gabe Kemp from Keyport? Let's get to it.
No, I got to shout out to his dad and mom, but the dad, Art. He was hitting me up on Instagram about bringing him over, and then I seen like his highlights and stuff. So in my head, I used to be like, oh, that's South Jersey. We're gonna get to the South Jersey girl.
I was about to say, like, you Keyport, I know you, Nas. I was like, Keyport, what's the Keyport? You probably put him in the back part of the DM.
Nah, so even watching this film, he running past people, but when I saw him training, that's the part, that I was like, yo, this kid is getting it. So he's like 9, I believe. And he was getting it. And I'm like, yo, little man really could get it. So one day, skipped along, Art hits like, yo,
who's Art?
Gabe's father. So Art hits me like with another video, they must have just got finished training. So I said, yo, I said to the team, I was like, look, because in Brick City, you bring an outside kid in.
Yeah,
and he taking over everybody else spots. Yeah. So I got to get to that too. So I showed her, she's like, he's good. I'm like, he want to come on the team. Ain't nobody gonna be all going crazy about this. She's like, nah. So I sent it to Kira. She's like, oh, he's good. I'm like, yeah, you want to come on the team? He's like, all right. So Art like, yo, no. So he says, Art throw a lob. I can talk about it now. Art throws a lob up off the backboard. He's like, yo, you should hit his mom's up and let her know, like, you're interested. I'm like, heck, that's okay. Hit Tara up, which is his mom in the DM. I'm like, you got a special kid, blah, blah, blah. Art calls right back like, yo, you did it. Everybody wanted to meet. So I had just started working for the city of Newark too. And shout out to my manager that day. He let me leave early. I went right down and met him at the baseball field. Watched him, Sean, Darius, Ethan, Zach.
They was David, on the same team?
David. So it was like 5 or 6 kids. And my guy Ali, I can't forget Ali. So I went out there, I watched them all work out. And I was like, yo, little dude really could go. But shout out to the other kids I named because they made, they're part of this whole journey. But when I saw Gabe, I was like, yo, that's crazy. God always blessed me with the best running back.
Nah,
so,
that's what you do though. Now you got a talent.
So it don't matter what team I coach, I have a back. So every year I've always had backs. So to get him at 10, right? So and it's so funny because if you ever watch me coaching Pop Warner, I had 5 people touching the ball. So at this time, I was giving the ball to little man, him, then Gabe, then little man, then Gabe, little man, throw a pass, then come back to Gabe. So he was balling that year though. He was like anybody else. So shout out to like Speedies and the guys before that. They would only get the ball like 3 times a game, and parents would be like, "Yo, you got favoritism." I'm like, "Bro, he score every time he get the ball." So with a kid like Gabe, I didn't get into like, all right, he's more than just 3 carries or 5 carries a game. He's like I saw the difference in him and others. Like he separates himself because he's more like a competitor. So when I brought him to the park the first day, we had a kid named Maddox there, and you could see them just sprints. He's gonna be first, or he's gonna be in the top 2. You see what I'm saying? So that's how hard he pushed on everything he does. People see the end results in the game. So 10 years old, we planned our season. It was COVID, and he going to contest it. So we get to Kent County. I saw it. I could have turned you more loose, but it was the Mayfair game where it clicked. I said, yo, he ready. He built for this. Because it's always those moments. See, me coaching so many good kids, I seen people, So when he went down in the Mayfair game, I was like, oh, hey, go right here now. We at Philly. So this is like his first games leading up to the real teams and stuff. So I'm like, damn, man, what happened? He's like, oh, my leg hit me right here. So I'm like, all right, could you move it? He moves it. So I'm like, all right, it ain't broke, man. Come on, get up. So he gets up. He comes back to the sideline. He chilling. I'm like, yo. So I'm just coaching. I'm like, damn, he done. Right? I'm coaching. He says, yo, Coach Nas, put me back in the game. I was like, he's like, yo, put me back in the game. I'm ready to go. And when he got that jet sweep, took it to the building, I was like, yo, he's the real deal.
But you thought he tapped out though?
I thought he tapped out. I thought he and from that moment on, I never questioned anything he do. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing with him. But I wanted to ask him, what was it like? What was the experience leaving your backyard, coming to Newark, playing, yeah.
No hate to my dad, but I hated him coaching me. It was like I would never get the ball. I would get the ball last because we would play horrible teams. It would be 27-0 first quarter. So I would get taken out the game because I think Pop Warner rules or something. You had to come out the game.
Mercy rules.
Yeah.
Y'all don't have that in AYF?
No, this get your back kicked down. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So then when I came up here in tryouts, when I versed Maddox, this is when I really knew I was coming to play better, like competition and play with better people, because me and Maddox were going out in sprints, and he beat me the last one, but I was like, nah, you're not getting me. So I was like, let's run it back. And I beat him, and I was like, you call that a wrap. But I played, 7 years on keyboard, but then I just didn't want to play no more.
I'm glad we got him on because now he bringing back all the memories. And so to get to your point when he said about, I didn't want to play for my dad anymore. So check his pop. Pop says, he calls me at the end of the year like, yo, man, Gabe's not having fun anymore. I'm like, what do you mean he's kicking butt? He's like, no, he got the ball of 4th to 6th. He started breaking the towels. He got the runs. So I'm like, yeah, that's what I do with all my good backs. It just makes them better. He's like, no. Then he get caught. It was 4th and 15. I think he got 14 yards. I'm like, yo, you didn't get the first down. He's like, so now you telling him he didn't get the first down when you put him in those situations. And I'm like, wow. So you know what? I got this from here on out. You know what I'm saying? I knew he deserved in better situations because it obviously it made the team better. You know what I'm saying? So like things like that. I so when they say parents, I listen sometimes, and then it's like, all right, bro, like you bugging now. You know what I'm saying? But I do take the good parts where I could get better and learn from.
It's called eat the meat, spit out the bones. That's what it is. You eat the meat, spit out the bones. Like I'm gonna listen to everything. I'll take what apply the rest of that.
Yeah. So as far as training, like some people might look at you and say, wow, this kid must be, he just train all day or every day or all week. What's it like training with your dad, Art?
Well, I've been training since I was like 4. When I was younger, I hated training. Like I used to be in my house with my cousin. And I always used to want to go outside and just mess around with him. My dad would drag me to the baseball field. I'd be crying, and because I never knew this was like worth it. I'm like, what is this? Jumping in and out of a ladder, no point of this. But as I got older, I mean, I understand it more now. And I mean, I see everything, like all these high schools coming at me and like see all the work that's coming into the game. Like if you watch me, you really see the training that goes into the game. And I mean, it's all worth it.
Yeah. This episode was brought to you by Keep It a Buck Clothing. Stay true to yourself and what you wear and keep it a buck.
Some people think what I do is easy, but they wrong. I'ma keep it a buck with you. I'm a different breed.
Move! Come on, work. Good.
Stay true to yourself and what you wear. Keep it a buck. Yes, sir.
So what I noticed is Nas, for every year, it was like, you know, you had countless backs from Burger to Oldie Salam to Man to Speedy, blah, blah, blah. Have you noticed, Night Train, have you noticed you have the tendency of, because Speedy was the best back at that point, and now you have Gabe. Like, can it get better? Once it get better, like
it's probably somebody that's sitting like flag right now, probably getting ready. I don't know. But right now, I can honestly say Gabe Kemp is like the best football player overall that I've ever coached. Mm-hmm. And it's dope because I could say that and still coach him. Mm-hmm. Like I've been saying that since the first year I coached him, because his attitude towards the game, like. We don't have like a yo man da 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 type of thing. We just like yo, let's get this shit done and then it's it. So before the game, it's like yo, you know what you was brought here for, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's that type of talk. Mm-hmm. And he's like yo, and then I go my zone, he go to zone, and then it's time. Only time you ever. I notice a lot too with him. If you watch him in the regular season and stuff, he probably played a bat, probably just walk. When it's nationals, he right there. It's like boom, boom. It's like on. It's war and it's on. So I just want to speed it up just a little bit, because I seen a difference in him the following year from 10 to 11. So that's what everybody wanted to see. What was is he? Because they still ain't know him nationally, mm-hmm. right? So we said we played a game. We went to Connecticut. He went and played in the.
Oh yeah,
in the All-Star game in Delaware. So we was playing in Connecticut, right? So we get to Connecticut. The Connecticut team like, where's the running back? Like what? It's mad. Yo, this is crazy because we've been screaming. It's other kids on what? We spanked them, and then look, our other backs just be going crazy too. One thing I can say about them, and they know this is the truth. If Gabe is suited up with them, it seems like they not going like, go crazy because like he's behind me or whatever it is, right? But let him not be playing. Everybody, they trying to go crazy. Now they next up. Mm-hmm. You'll see Jelly one time. I'm like, yo, what is she doing? It's supposed to go to Warrior. It's Warrior. And she like, no, you go down. She changed it now. You know what I'm saying? Because with him, I'm like, yo, we going such and such. It's Gabe. And then everybody know what time it is. And then you got to tell him, he'll switch too and let the next person go. You know what I'm saying? So that's a great thing that's about it. But I just want that, like, so what was your mind state like when we entered Georgia?
Oh, I just wanted to show the world who I was. I knew I could play ball with anybody.
Talk about playing against Maddox. This is the same kid we just talked about.
He was
at
in Georgia?
Bush City, and then he moved. So when Maddox moved to Georgia, right? Gabe was there. I'm like, I hope I don't lose Gabe because I thought they was him and this Maddox tandem. He's like, oh, I need the number one now because I wanted him to wear 2 for Speedy like that. So he wanted number one. Dad was trying to pay them to get the number and everything. So they moved. It was easy. It was easy dealing. So we gets to Georgia, and it's him versus Maddox. But the whole time,
Who Maddox play for?
the
Red?
the Atlanta Giants, which is Brandon Jacobs' team.
Oh, okay.
And we comes out. He could talk more about that.
To be honest, I thought that game was gonna be hard, but we came out strong, and I thought our team was gonna be a little bit softer, to be honest, because we were playing New Jersey ball the whole time, and we see kids that are actually bigger than us, and some of them our size. So we were like coming out, and it was like first couple plays we
Talk about your first carry.
Was that the
touchdown.
He mushed the kid Maddox into the ground. I'm like, after that, everybody went crazy. We went crazy. So we ended up smacking them. And then we go on Facebook because they got this little group chat thing. So there's like the guy, we was playing this Newark. Mind you, I don't know none of these guys. I don't know none of the teams. I'm just lining up and playing.
no scouting report?
They all know these guys. I don't know nobody. We line up against the North Carolina Giants. No, the guy says on Facebook, man, ain't no one player gonna beat me. Ain't this, that, and the third. Whoop-de-whoop. So I goes on. I said, dog, the last time somebody said that, he scored 5 touchdowns. He's like, yeah, whatever, this, that, and the third. Bro, we walked out there, he scored 4 touchdowns, yo. You hear what I'm saying? And we were down. They was beating us, and we didn't know that they was the previous UIFL national champs. We didn't know none of this. We just knocked them off. And when we knocked them off, I think that shook up the world right there. That was it. And then everybody came back. It's like, yo, I want to see the running back. But prior to that, we were sitting there before the game. They had this kid from the Florida team, the Mambas. He was supposed to be the number 1 running back in the country when we got there. So this guy was trying to bet everybody, I got the best back. I said, dog, be patient with all that money you got. Wait till the next game. I'm going to show you the best back. When the game was over, he walked up and was like, yo, dog, it's crazy. No one knew him. So then we played this team called the West Orlando Jags. We knew nothing about them. They knew nothing about us. Now they a big show too. Don't get it twisted. They're a big show now. And that's so dope because we was both like underdogs. We tied them. He scored the touchdown to bring that thing home, to actually tie that game. What was that like in that moment though?
I thought we were about to lose that game. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I always have that mentality. Like, if we're down, I want the ball. I don't care anything. If Coach Nas say Jelly getting the ball, no, I'm getting the ball. It's crunch time. I don't.
He did that with his dad. So his dad ended up coming on. So now we goes to 12U, right? No, we get the Nationals. I gotta talk. I want to get skip along. We get the Nationals. We played the Arizona team. This is the thing that went viral. I want to talk. I want you to explain that moment because for me, the one thing I told him when it was over, I said I would live and die with anything you ever do. So I'm okay with it. But we was going to tie it up, and that after being done, we could have got boned. We was about to tie the game up. Talk about that play from the start.
So what? It was a QB. I was playing QB, and it was just a direct handoff. And I didn't know any of the rules about AYF. I didn't know hurdling was a problem or anything. So it was supposed to be direct snap left, but I seen they were overloading left, so I was like, might as well go right. And it was me and corner, one-on-one, right at the goal line. And every time I make a move, it's just my body. To be honest, I don't control. Like, I can't even remember anything in the game. It's just instincts. It's like muscle memory. So all I remember is just jumping over them, and then like I got over, and all I seen was flags, and I'm like, what's the flag on?
So that would have put y'all ahead?
No, that would have tied the. That was the tie the game.
Okay.
No, we would have been out too.
We was gonna kick the field goal. That was it. That was gave us a chance to tie the game. That's what I'm saying. But after we left that day, that's when I said, "Yo, we ready." Even though we won the next game, we got back home, and it was like, "Yo, let's just regroup." So we ended up changing our staff. Shout out to Coach Tyson. Shout out to Coach Mike, Dave, Art, Zafir, and Coach Raul. And Coach Kira and all the team members. I got to shout out.
I got more coaches than high school staff.
Bro, it's the staff. You know what I'm saying? Everybody play their role. And that's the thing with our team. Like, it's like one thing I always say about him is we a rock band. He's just Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens. And I watched this kid go from just walking in the park, and it's like, leave out here, to like, hey, that's Gabe Kemp. I'm like, yo, dog, not right now. Like, we went to a point where it was dope. Like, all right, go ahead and take the pictures. They want to talk to you, Gabe. So like, yo, not right now. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that right now and everything like that. So skipped it on. We go to 12U. We like, it's time to get to. It's time to. No, I got to tell a story. We was in Florida. I'm sorry, in Universal Studio, and I'm walking. All I see is this kid with the black jersey and everybody surrounding him. We get him out. That's Gabe. He like this. It was a line of pictures. I'm like, yo, well, next we gotta start charging, baby.
Yeah, that's that NIL.
Yeah. You know, shout out to Keep It a Buck too, man. He got the NIL line going with them.
I saw that. That's pretty dope. Yeah,
Talk about that, like young guy. You know what I'm saying? Getting your first little NIL.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I didn't even know. My dad he like texted me and just sent me some like eye emoji, and I'm like, what's going on? And then text me my whole link of my own like website with all my clothing brand. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Stay true to yourself and what you wear. Keep it a buck.
Welcome to my home. Keep it a buck.
She not a lesbian for peace, she turned lesbian. Push a P, I'm push a P. I'm capital P, I write the president, count presidents. Push a P. Portuguese on her knees, mopping down a P. She let me squeeze and she leave, cause she keep a P. Private suite, privacy, done pushing P. Purple paint, pink, push a P. Push a P, I'm push a P. Push a P, I'm push a P. Yeah. Push a P, I'm push a P. Push a P, I'm push a P. Yeah. I pop a P, I'm paranoid. I can't sleep with pockets deep. Got rest on me, why they watching me? I'm push a P, I'm push a P. Push a P, I'm push a P.
Yeah, that's
got some coming for a couple of high school athletes as well, man. Stay tuned.
That's hard. That's dope. So now it's time to take another trip. So now with this group, it's like we have to take the trips to all the football states. And it's time to go to California.
So hold on. Y'all saw Florida?
Oh, we knocked them off. See,
California.
Yeah, it's time.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Texas. Louisiana?
Nah, we didn't get to. They ain't make it to see us. We played all the Floridas, like whether it's Orlando, South Florida, any Florida, we got them. Texas, we got the Texas.
Ever had that matchup with Luke and them boys?
Luke can't play with us, man. We drown them kids. We drown them cats. Too much for that. All that like the Miami stuff is out. Like, you know, it's not another Gabe Kemp out there, bro. And we see teams where, and you know, I'm comfortable with saying this, and there's a lot of people who say, oh, he should say that. The kid's still doing this. He still see how Nas do this to these kids with their heads. It's like I'm talking to you. You see what I'm saying? It's like his brain. He understands. I got to keep working. What's your GPA in school? What's your grades?
All my grades. My lowest grades are 86. Everything else is 90 above.
Very intelligent, smart. Yeah. He handling his business. He know what's going on. So it's like, yo, it's times like, so I want to get you to the part of California, but I have so much to say about this kid, like, because we got our memories of like going through things, like as far as game time. Game would be on the line.
So let's talk about that.
Florida.
No. What was the most trying moment? Like, you know, that moment where you felt you spoke about in Philly, but that moment where you felt like they had his number and y'all back was against the wall and y'all might not have won this game. Because I like to look for like the real quality, those guys, you notice them like I always told you. Remember when Masai Maynard was at St. Peter's and Joes beat them in the playoff? St. Peter's lost, but Masai Maynard didn't deserve to lose that day. Like, you can look and you can say, if they had about 4 more of those, you get what I'm saying? What moment was that?
That was Arizona for me. That was Arizona.
And what did it tell you?
Semifinals. I was like, I got to mix it up. I got to just stick to what I know. Don't get kind of rattled with it. Like, don't try to chase for the big chunks and just stay patient in what we was already doing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times that comes from, like, you know, people listen to the fans. So the Florida game, the game before, was one of those games where I tuned the parents out and I just said, I don't care, I'm going downhill.
I was about to say, downhill records, huh?
And anytime I ever said, that's what I'm going to do and stick to it, we've always won. So that's why coming into this year, right, so we kind of switched duties. So in the beginning of our season, his dad actually was calling the plays. In our first game out the gate, we go to we ain't played nobody. We get out the gate to California, we played
San Diego
Snack Boys. So we was throwing and then running, throwing. It was crazy, right? So we kind of really, like got everybody involved, and it was so dope. And he scored the most points. He scored 56 points, and
he is who?
Which is Art. We can always say offense.
I know, but you gotta let the people know.
So the offense coordinator Art scored 56 that day, and then when the dog came out, like, yo. He's like, Dad.
Y'all up?
We was in a bang out up type of going back and forth. So he like, and we was running everybody. He was throwing the ball. I'm like, yo, dog. This one on the sideline. And mind you, this is his son. So which is, I like, dog, give the ball to Boy Wonder right now. We was giving everybody else. So a timeout came. He's like, yeah, we gonna go. Whatever he called, Gabe's like, no. It's my time. I was like, that's what I'm telling him. Like, yo, he's like, well, all right, you better score. And the next, it was 6. I'm like, duh, it's a no-brainer. Like, you got the cheat code. What are we doing? So we get to the next game. We play the OG Ducks.
Let me just interrupt to say, though, because I had that experience, though.
Yeah.
You know, I was calling the offense years ago back on my coaching days in Spring Valley, and my nephew was playing for me. And he was the back. But you're conscious of what every other parent is saying and all of that.
Yeah.
So in the reality is, a lot of parents are saying, give it to your family. Like, yo, you need to feed them. But you, in your mind, you like, I don't want to seem like I'm favoring my kid. And I remember after a game, I had told, you know, K-Boy, shout out to K-Boy. I told him, like, yo, listen, man, you got to call a O because I don't feel comfortable running him the way he should be ran.
That's crazy.
So you call it so it ain't the blood on my hand,
That's
you know.
right.
And you know that the rest was history. So I know what Pops might be feeling when you calling those plays.
That's almost identical with yours because we got to the OG Ducks game doing the same stuff. We was inside like the 10 and then we throwing. I'm like, dog, just give him the ball. He's like, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm like, all right, cool. When we left out of that place, he said, dog, you can have it. I gotta want to do this no more. This is yours. He's like, because now I get it. He's like, because he'll come in like, yo, I'm just going to run game and doing it. But he get there, he can't do it. Like, yo,
it's tough.
Can't do it. So we ended up losing the OG, right? But
OG Ducks, California.
Ducks, yo, but my boy, once he started spinning them, and if you watch the game, it's on YouTube.
I gotta watch
This
it.
dude just scored like 2 quick touchdown, right? Back, we get the onside, right? He get another carry, run down a little bit, and then we throw a pass. I'm like, yo, dog, that's 21. It looked better than 14. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, like one thing he'll always say is like, you you can't be on me about giving other kids a chance. I said, yeah, no, I understand that part. But if Lil Raheem gets sacked or he don't catch the pass or it's an interception, they looking at you like, yo, he blowing it.
Mm-hmm.
But then they want their kid to touch the ball at the same time.
You can't.
So you damn if you do, damn if you don't. So that's one thing I learned about. Don't allow for people to judge me on how I call a game. We're calling it with him.
So I know you, Nas, you already cooking something up because I know that don't sit well.
I was sick. We already knew what it was. We went back, evaluate kids, seen who was who. Got back home, chewed everybody out, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And then we got back on it. We got back on the road again. And we lost another game. And I like to talk. Listen, I just want you to know we played everybody who was real. So they had another kid that's supposed to be, oh, he's better than Gabe. He this, that, and the third. He from Pittsburgh.
I remember that game. There was a lot of highlights.
Shout out to Chris Black. And he's good. He's nice. Like these kids, like you gonna see them at the next level.
But he ain't Uno.
He just he got that mentality. He do have that mentality. He got that. I don't think. I just know Gabe Kemp, and when you see Gabe, it's like, so when Chris Black played against us, we shut Chris Black down, right?
He scored a touchdown.
When Gabe played against anybody in the world, no one's have shutting Gabe down. There's not a team out there on this world, in this country, that could say, Gabe, we played against Gabe Kemp, he ain't do nothing.
Okay, so let's talk about Gabe.
And they take that person, they're like, yo, they brought their linebacker back, which is OG Ducks for that game. He's supposed to be number one linebacker. And all you heard was, there you go again, touchdown, boy, the golden boy, and all this other. It was going. It's just like he worldwide with it, you know. But it's a testament to his hard work, you know what I'm saying. So that's the point. But we got back home. We went against Chris Black, beat Chris Black. Gabe went crazy in another game. Shout out to all the other kids who go crazy. Like I said, this interview, we're talking about the golden child right now, and we played against Maryland Heat. Talk about that game. Like, what's that about?
I wanted to get back at them. Like, the year before that, to be honest, it wasn't a blowout, but I just felt like we were getting smacked around. It didn't feel like, it didn't sit well in me the year coming into this, and I knew we had a better team than them. But from the jump, I guess we were just not playing as good as we were supposed to be. But at the end of the game, we started coming back, and then, I don't know, like that last play just...
Was that the game where them zebras showed up for y'all?
Nah, that's the second year, so that's what I was getting into now, coming back. So, that's what you're talking about, the last play, yeah. So, that game was more like, they got a little more home cooking, you know what I'm saying, by far. But the funny thing about our season, though, and I can honestly say this, we laughed about it when it was over. 9 times out of 10, every game we played, besides the first 2 games of our season, the only first 2 games that we played in California, after the OG Ducks game on, every game we won felt like a loss.
What do you mean?
Like, even after we played Pittsburgh, after we beat PME, after all these big name teams we played, Brooklyn.
Is it because it's dog fights?
It's because we had dog fights all year. It was like 19-7, 21-6, 28-12, like dumb stuff. We like, we supposed to smoke they boots. So half the time this year we wasn't even smoking boots, like doing our little thing.
Yeah.
So we got all the way up into. This felt like this all the way up into the semifinal game in Florida, and I had to say, nah, enough is enough. We on our way to the national championship, and that's when everybody really recognized, like, all right, here we here. But I want to skip along to talk about, because he had a little adversity, you know what I'm saying? So we made it back to Florida. We get into Florida, and we're playing a team called the San Antonio Outlaws from Texas, from the Friday Night Tights. And we all knew these guys. They knew the coaches and players and all this stuff. So we lined up. Now, mind you, I'm not paying attention of like how the world's starting to look at him because he's part of our team. And do we talk a little smack? Yeah. Do you talk smack?
Of course.
So we play in San Antonio. Let's just take them from walking into the game, how the game played out, how it started, to what happened and everything. Lead it up to it.
So we walked in the game. We were like, oh, we're going to smack these kids. We seen film. We were like, what is this team? How they even make it to nationals? So we get into the game. I don't know if they were brothers, but they definitely related. So number 0 and number 3, they were just talking to everyone, just talking crazy, cursing you out and going crazy. So I think we kicked it, and our kicker kicked it like all the way down to like the 5. And I come down chasing, I tackle him, and then I was on top of him, and he pushed me off, and I was like, who you pushing? And then he just kept talking, and then the ref, I guess, heard me. I mean, it's always the second man, I guess, but the ref saw me and threw a flag, and then what was like I didn't even know.
15 yard?
Yeah, 15 yard. And then the second time, I came down and I hit him, and I got up, but he was getting up at the same time as me, so his helmet hit my knee. So it looked like I kicked him. And then, I mean, I was talking a little bit, but they said I kicked him. That was the real reason they threw the flag. But I didn't kick him, and they kicked me out the game, and I was so mad. But I knew I had to, like, my team, I seen some kids on the sideline, they just looked like the game is over because I was at the game. But, I mean, I knew I had to come back and cheer on my team.
So he became an assistant coach. He was Coach Gabe at that time. I had to tell him a couple times. I was like, all right, kid, chill out. I was like, I got this. It's on the line now. I listened, you know. But one thing about him, just listen to him, even in the play calling. He's not afraid to take risks and chances. And I was like, dog, not right now. I'm like, I would say like, should I go?
Did y'all win that game?
Yeah, we put. Yo, one thing about them kids, after that they band together. There's like, yo, I'm like, bro, we got to do this. We got to finish. And we had it was a kid, Thomas, man. Yeah. Thomas had a heck of a day. My quarterback, Ramir, he stepped up. But it was one little kid, man, and it's Sahad Judd, right? So I was in the huddle. I'm like, I'm going 28 jet sweep with Sahad. Mind you, he had to get in at the time. So I said, and Hottie, he little, but he dope to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, we're going 28 jet sweep. He like, you think so? I'm like, yeah, I gotta go Hottie right now. I'm like, what you think? You could go with the count, or you could do this at a third. And then I called the play, and Coach Mike was like, what are you running? I was like, I'm going 28 jet sweep with Judd. He was like, what? Out of all the players we got right now, not like that. But that's it. That's how he is. He emotional. He like, and obviously, you know, and Judd, little guy, but to see him wiggle and bust it loose to get the first down, and then we had a kid named Daniel Lewis, which is Jonathan Lewis' little brother. So he comes in the game.
What position he play?
Quarterback. In a big game, he rolls out, make the dump pass, and then he kept it and got the first down, bro. When he did that, I'm like, all right, first down, that's good. We moving. All right, come on, let's and word is bond. We scored, but when they got the ball back, they came right down and scored right quick. Everybody kept saying, this we so used to having him at safety and making those plays. They're like, McGabe was there, you make that play. I'm like, all right, well, he not there. You know what I'm saying? So they scored quick, and then that's when the kid Thomas, they kicked off. I'm trying to get my plays together. I'm living for this moment, the game winner, and then Thomas, he housed it. And that was the game right there. And,
one touchdown game?
We beat them 19-13.
Yeah.
Like that. We was tied up 13-13 and it was like 19-13. And then the second game, that was the game. We played this team from Virginia. Again, the kids, we could beat them, this, that, and the third. One thing I learned about when you go to nationals and you watch film, don't believe it.
What do you mean?
It's not, nothing is real. Everybody you think like, we could get them if you be in a dog fight with. So it's like, all right, nationals, throw all that out the window. And that's what happened to us every game. And talk about that second game because that was a big game for him. He came back. Everybody was at the stadium. It was a packed house to see him return. Talk about that.
That second game was more of like a comeback game because I think I got kicked out the first game, like first quarter. I didn't even get to play, and it's like I'm only playing 3 games, so I got kicked out, and I was mad. So I knew I just had to go off. And from the start, they were talking too. Everybody was talking, but I knew I had to keep my calm because it's more than just talking. Like, if I get kicked out again, it's like I'm going to regret it, and I'm going to look back at it like, what if my team loses the game before Nationals? This is where we lost last year. So I'm like, I can't lose here again. And then I think first drive, come out, score, and then they'd come out, score. It just kept going back and forth and back and forth. And
he was having a heck of a helmet issues.
Yeah,
right? So his helmet comes off the last play of the game. Mind you, I don't see the helmet come off.
So he had to come out.
It was 2 seconds left on the clock. He's standing next to me. I'm like, dog, what are you doing here? Like, they told me to come out. I said, you really would come out the game right now? So I asked him this, I think after, like somewhere else. I'm like, dog, you really came out the game? He's like, I had to. My helmet came off. I'm like, oh. Like, I didn't see the helmet part. I just know he kept fixing it.
Let's get to college.
College?
Yeah.
I want to be in Ohio State.
Yeah?
Georgia.
Why? Tell us why.
I just love Ohio State. Ohio State's been my, dream college forever.
You ever been to a game at Ohio State?
I only been to a Rutgers game. College.
You have to go to a game at Ohio State, man. Like, that town, oh my God, it's a football town, man. Like, the whole thing, like, you walking through miles and miles and it's all red. It's all red. Like, that's an experience I would say you get. And with Bonsu being there, I'm sure Nas can help to make that happen for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you want to go to a Georgia game, hey, friend, you heard it, man. Get my man down there. Let him check a game.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Throw the offer on him and this.
Yeah,
Come on. No, so I want to know, like, what's the everyday life for Gabe? Like, get up, what's some of the
routine
and stuff like that?
To be honest, right now, I don't like thinking about football after football season. Football is like, I get it out the way. So, I'm at school. I play basketball, baseball. So right now I'm in basketball season. So right after school, I have school basketball from like 3 to 4. And then I go home for an hour, and then I go back to basketball for my travel team. And then mid-March, I go to baseball tryouts, and that ends like June. So, there's nothing, I'm always on the game, and it's not just all about football.
Do you feel that you have a lot to prove? How can you feel you have a lot to prove when you're so accomplished?
I just want to make it to the next level and do the same thing that I'm doing in youth.
Why does that, tell me, why does that matter to you?
Because everyone, like a lot of people in my town, they say, oh, you only could do this in youth. Once you get to high school, it's way different. It's not, like you're not playing little kids, you're playing kids that are your size and bigger kids. I was like.
So who do you look up to as a running back? What other running backs do you like, to look?
Oh, Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's my top running back. That's the person I studied off of, all my training and everything. I used to watch him in Stanford, so.
That's what they call him everywhere you go.
What do you like about Christian McCaffrey?
I think I'd play exactly like him. Obviously, because I studied him, but it's just how he's quick. And, he's a whole all-around back. He can go out that. He could go to wide receiver. He could go in the backfield. He could go anywhere, to be honest.
As coaching him, what's his football IQ like? In comparison to guys you coach? Because you have great athletes, then you got kids that just kind of really coaches on the field.
Bro, one thing about him, he's never said, like, he's not blocking. He used to say, when he was 10, he used to say, they're just watching me, right? So he won't say they're not blocking. He's like, they're just watching me. But he sees the game. He can see the field. Like, it's sometimes, the one thing I like about him is when he do what he told, he makes it look easy. It's sometimes when he do what he want to do, it works, and then sometimes he do what he want to do, and it don't work. I'm like, yo, dog, just follow the block on that. Like, you just cut back, you just messed that up, and then from there, you could just see it. He understands it. It's like, damn, I should have, yeah, you're right, boom, right? And it's never like a back and forth. It's never been like it's like a adult to a kid every time. Like, yo, dog, what are you doing? Kid. Like, he's not the kid you got to chew out. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know your kids. Some kids you got to F-bomb them to death or whatever it is. And then there's some kids like, yo, dog, like, what's up? All right. Yo, you tired? You need a break? Like it's those words like that make him even more like, all right, let's go. I don't need to come out. So why you looking like that? Body language is everything. That's my thing to him. But his IQ for the game, like, he's like a coach on the field, like without being a quarterback. With all his gifts and attributes, right? The one, the one thing is so great about him is like he's really a leader. Like he's not the one that's going to talk. That's what I always tell him. Like, yo, dog, get him in line. He the same kid to laugh and do the things kids do, but he's going to lead by his play. You know what I'm saying? That's his leadership. I want him to take the game a little more serious, where now he going to 13 and it's like, yo, look, anything that you say, I want you to learn how to think before he speak a lot, because what come out his mouth could stick with children for the rest of their life of where he's going. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, when you play with a kid like Gabe Kemp, it's like, or like a Jabril Peppers.
That's a good point. Like, and this is a learning experience right now. When you get a chance, go back and look at our interview we did with DJ Samuels, right? Because what you'll see when you see DJ Samuels, you'll understand why Bergen Catholic won. DJ Samuels is not only their physically most gifted player, but he was a leader. And when I say a leader means he held himself to a certain level of accountability. And because he held himself there, he held his teammates to it. You remember when he sat here and he said, we be out there hitting like,
In practice going
yeah,
crazy.
you know what I'm saying? And if we out here doing it, you got to do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like, I see guys around the league that's talented and they point fingers. Oh, they ain't dogs, or they ain't this, or they ain't that. If they ain't dogs, if your teammates ain't dogs, it's because you ain't make them a dog. Yeah. Because a real leader can get a group of punks and get them to believe we can run through a wall. And this is a fact, because they believe it as long as you with them. And you got to learn to use that influence. So when Nas is telling you about leadership and you lead by example, sometimes for people that lead by example, you're not comfortable being a verbal leader, right? But that's what growth is. Growth is growing into something that you're uncomfortable doing. He's giving you the recipe to be great, right? There's a difference between good and great, You look at Kobe, it's leadership. That's leadership, the way he... Well, then you got other talented players, right? You have players like, Tracy McGrady and Kyrie Irving. These are very talented players. Kyrie's probably the most talented. Leadership, though, big difference. And if you really want to be who you say you want to be, that's what's going to separate. Because what the people do have correct in your town is as you get older, that gap closes. Because when you get to college, everybody's talented. The difference become here. Like your confidence level, your leadership, the fact that you can't be broken. Like, I'll tell you a story about Willis McGahee. They talked about Willis McGahee and said, what's the guy's name that broke his knee in the game against Ohio State? What was
I don't know his name, but
Willis McGahee, Clinton Porter, sorry. Clinton Porter. All right, so Willis McGahee
was back in
started, no, he started over Clinton Portis. Okay. But all the coaches said, Clinton Porter started over Willis McGahee. Yeah. All the coaches said Willis McGahee was the more talented running back. They said Clinton Portis just believed so strong that he was that dude that he actually had everybody around him, including Willis McGahee, believing that he was that dude. You get what I'm saying? And that's what the next level becomes about, because once you get to state to state, okay, you run a 4.4, he run a 4.4. You know what I'm saying? You ran for 2,000 yards in high school, he ran for 4, right? But he might have played less competition, but it's here. You know what I'm saying? It's here. Like that will to not be broken, that ability to lead, man, because that's what coaches are going to say. Well, like, they both do the same thing, but when Gabe is out there, it affects the team differently. The team responds differently. So, work on, because you got time, work on becoming that player that Nas is telling you got to be, because you'll remember this conversation. You're like, damn, old dude told me when I was a young. It's real, man. It's real.
13, but nah, man, we appreciate having you. I just wanted to ask him one question too. What's it like having a female lead blocker for you?
Jelly's probably one of the best. She is the best blocker on the team, and it's just like cool because like you see how different it is. I never had a girl play on my team, so it was like always I'm with boys messing around, and she, to be honest, at practice, she's the ones that keep us in check.
She's the mother of the team.
She keeps us in check. Like, we'll be messing around. She'll be like, stop.
Stop it. Like, it's like that.
Yeah, and like, to be honest, and she'll she'll knock half the team out. Like, to be honest, half the team is like, I'm not gonna say no names.
No, but that's what happened. One time, one of the kids, shout out to Tabir, Tabir said, yo, man, how'd she get to sit down? I said, she a lady. He said, what? You don't see what she be doing? Boxing everybody? I was like, sit down, because that's baby girl right there. So shout out to Jalea Richardson. But, man, it's just an honor to have you up here, to be able to say that we the first ones that actually set you down and interviewed you. And for me to be able to coach you and interview you, I'm just looking forward to the future, being honest with you. And
I want to see it,
13U coming up. He won his first national title. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We did that. It didn't take us that long. You know what I'm saying? So now it's time to go, back to back and finish this thing off. And he'll have like another rest year. We'll get to that. But this kid gonna do some major things, man, in high school. I'm telling y'all now, look, Jersey, get ready, world, get ready. He's like an IMG-er.
So I've always said that. I told Nas, I said, I think he's too big for Jersey. But here's another thing, I believe. How old are you?
13.
I used to tell Nas this. When Brill was out, they'd be like, this one's the next Brill. Brill's come along every 10 years, 15, 20 years. You about right on time, bro. You about right on time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He's gonna go to high school and I don't want to put the pressure. I'm just telling you, I just know the type of kid he is. He's probably gonna shatter all of that type of stuff. We're gonna be like, wow, he said that, and I'm glad that this is being documented because we'll get to be able to look back at this and say, nah, I said that. You know what I mean? But you got any last words?
Thank you guys. To be honest, right now, I don't like thinking about football after football season. Football is like, I get it out the way. So, I'm at school. I play basketball, baseball. So right now I'm in basketball season. So right after school, I have school basketball from like 3 to 4. And then I go home for an hour. And then I go back to basketball for my travel team. And then mid-March, I go to baseball tryouts. And that ends like June. So, there's nothing, I'm always on the game, and it's not just all about football.